we're talking about today, does your child seem totally unmotivated about school, chores, consequences? Do they not seem to care about anything? Maybe they wanted a new bike last week, and this week they're not like willing to do anything to earn a new bike, and they don't seem to care. And we come in as parents and we really want our kids to care about things. We really want them to do things on their own. We want them to be happy. We want them to feel special, know how loved they are. We want them to work with us in harmony as a team. Am I going somewhere? Are these desires that you have as parents? Do we want our kids to wear the best clothes, make friends at school, get straight A's, comply with the teachers? Do we want all these things as parents? Wouldn't it be nice if the kids just came out of our womb already prepared?
You mean like a spider?
Yeah, like a spider with web making 101. You know, the baby spiders come out. You don't need to train them how to make a web. They just know how to make a web. Jessica's saying yes. Oh, yes, with a frustrated face. Okay, this is so powerful. Today is going to be super powerful for those of you with eyes who can see, for those of you with ears that can hear. Now, I know that the whole world has been inundated with the idea that there's emotional disease going on in our children, and I get it. I've lived it. I've lived both sides. In 2011, I was that mom who wanted everything I just shared with you. I wanted the best for my kids. I wanted them to be great. I wanted them to get along. Like, why can't we just get along? Look at all the things I do for you. You should just cooperate with me. But nothing worked. And it's because of one thing. It's because children are little human beings. There, I said it. Children are not from some different planet, little aliens. They're like children, and we need to manipulate them to comply for 18 years, and then they become a human being. Your 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old right now is a tiny human being,
A mini me.
a mini you.
A little genius who's here to just embrace her own uniqueness. And I'm telling you what, when the world comes from the earlier adopters are doing this, we know the secret. It's so simple. You're like, oh, you see something that pisses you off? Reframe. They're just mimicking how they saw somebody do it, and they're raising their hand, metaphorically, going, I'm ready to learn if you're willing to show me, because monkey see, monkey do is how we do it in heaven on earth.
Let me give you a scenario. Because by the end of today's live, you're going to understand why your child seems so unmotivated.
True.
You're going to learn how to inspire cooperation without nagging or forcing.
True.
And you're going to stop feeling like you're the only one who cares about responsibility in your house. And these are really powerful things, because trying to motivate a kid is like you're going to just fall off the edge of a cliff. Like, you're going to spend your whole life trying to motivate this little being, when really motivation comes from the inside out. All right. So do you have anything to share before we really dive deep
Yeah.
into?
Like, you want to talk about motivation, like cattle prod. You're just poking at them. Come on, come on, come on. And yes, look, they're motivated to get away from something they don't like. But if you're not there to cattle prod them, what did they do in the first place? You see, when Bonnie knew about goals in her business development, between me and you, I think she was in her top of her class. And you always know that you got to have a goal. You got to be something for you to shoot for. Something that comes from the inside out. Because if it's outside in, it's a bribe on its best day. But when it comes from the inside, it's called a desire. And when our kids are begging, pleading, asking in the most bad behavior, your labels, going, I'm ready to learn. That's a game changer. You compare it with goals. Have you ever seen one of those cute little dogs that their ears just perk up like, huh? Right? Like, there was a massive shift that happened for Bonnie that would be like the San Andreas Fault. It shifted so far that half of California fell into the ocean. It was huge. You compare it with goals. Where have you been all my life? Was going on inside of Bonnie's head, because once she knew to take the power from I am be all, do all to 100% ownership transfer to these little genius 4 kids. Well, she said, Thomas, do you know that you've got a parenting program in your head? And I'm like, I never really thought of it that way. And so if there's anything that you get from us, please thank this lady for having the tenacity and grit to be too stupid to quit, to get this message out that parents around the world need to know this is available and that every kid could be a somebody before the age of 12.
Right. So thank you, Tom. And yeah, this dream's been alive and planted in my soul since 1994. When I read this book, this is Think and Grow Rich. The formula, the secret for success is right in here. So when he's talking about every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. So every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of, let's just exchange money for yogurt, granola bar, ice cream, cookies, iPads. See, for a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, an iPad or a granola bar is a privilege. You see, when we get to be 18 and over, we get to go and, buy a sports car. That's a privilege. That's a goal. That's a privilege. But for a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old, they have their own desires for things. And I want you to really get this today. We're spending all of our time coming from the outside in. What can we do to get our kids to cooperate? Well, maybe we'll put them in a timeout. Well, maybe if we take away something they care about, they'll actually cooperate. Well, maybe if I ground them from seeing their friends, they'll actually cooperate. Maybe if I sit down and I just talk things through, they'll actually cooperate. Well, maybe, I'll try this, I'll try that, I'll try being harsh, I'll try being kind, I'll try being funny. I'll try all these things to get my kids to cooperate. But what if we changed our hat and we reframed the way we're looking at being a parent in the first place? And what if we could see that every single child is a human being? Every human being. He doesn't say every human being who reaches the age of 15. He doesn't say every human being who reaches the age of 25 and their frontal cortex is finally created. No.
Good stories.
He doesn't say every human being without a behavior disorder or every human being with the right mental capacity. He says every human being who reaches the age of understanding desires for things. Now, I really want you to get this today. Desire is chapter 2 in Think and Grow Rich. Desire comes before the chapter on faith. Desire is the opening chapter for success, for the success philosophy that was written in 1928. Desire. Oh, like we could just stop the live right there. Your life should be changed. Give me a comment. Give me like a heart on the video if this is like triggering some things. Every human being from the age of understanding, I can do that. Harley Faith, 21 months. I can take my own lid off the marker. I can put the lid back on the marker. Like for a toddler, that's a big deal because for a child, everything they see is new to them. And they want to feel like their life has meaning, that like their life means something. They're not here just to please you. Our children are not our pets. I know that was a little bit of a shocking statement, and that's okay because we're here to either shock you into change or just show up often enough that you finally get it. Oh, my 2-year-old has a desire for things. Now, the desire for things is the internal motivator that gets a human being to take action on things they don't necessarily feel like doing in this moment. Got some thoughts?
Yeah. When you push the agenda so hard, moms and dads, that it's like a teeter-totter with the bigger kid. It's kind of like lopsided. There's no action of this or that. When you want something more than, this is you, this is the kid. When you want it more than they do, it becomes an external motivator for them, and the teeter-totter shifts. When you want it more for them, any kid will take the cookie. But as far as doing what's required, I don't care to do it. So we create a window for them not to care. And when we can click on that, I know it's off our radar. It's not like you wake up in the morning, what can I do to really mess up my kid's life? You don't do it consciously on purpose. But can we deny that something's causing this? And if you can just reframe it for ourselves and go, well, wait, everybody's saying, can't be me. My spiritual harmony doesn't stink. It's got to be the kid. And everybody's buying into it. But when we can go, well, wait a minute, I had a part in that. And if I could find out what that part was, or an ingredient like saying cooking's missing, hello, hint, hint, wink, wink, then everything can go right back to normal. It automatically heals itself. So we have to look at our approach. How do you see your kid? You go back to our first principle, which is knowing your role as a parent. Why is the child in the house from 0 to 18 anyways? And when you can find an answer to this question, well, you're always going to say where you've been our whole life, and it's a total game changer. And once you know it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I could scream this to the rest of the world, but they're not ready to hear comma yet. So you got to have so much pain, so much, I just almost ready to give up before you might break through and find us. And we've always been here. We're waiting for you. So congratulations for showing up here today.
Yes. Hi, Holly. Good morning. By the way, Holly and Jessica, you're both here, and I was looking forward to seeing you on the live Q&U for the Gold Star membership yesterday. Hopefully you got the email. So watch your emails every week and look for that in the Gold Star membership. All right. Okay. So here's the secret to success. The method by which desire for, I'm going to change riches to privileges. All right. In chapter 1 of Learn to Speak Kid, Tom was just talking about it. Know your role as a parent. We have a few questions in there. Number 1 is to write down a list of privileges your kids currently have access to for free. All right. Like, do we owe our kids a 5-star meal every night, or do we owe them food? Right? Do we owe them designer clothes, or do we owe them clothes? This is really important because we're looking at, why doesn't my kid care about everything? Could it be possible that we've made our children's lives so easy that they don't have this desire building up? You see, desire, the whole chapter is called desire. Desire is the first step to achieving success. Desire. It's the best gift we could ever give our children, is to desire something they don't have. So we'd be better off having an empty house, an empty shell. We'd be better off doing nothing, planning nothing, just sitting back and letting our kids show us what they're ready for. Because they will ask for things. They will see things that they desire. They're not looking for you to come and give it to them, because when we come and give it to them, it's like smothering the sparks in a fire.
Well, it's feeding the wildlife and wondering why they won't leave. You ever feed a raccoon?
Yeah, don't feed the wild animals. We actually talked about this on a mentorship call the other day, and I wrote it down, and I think it was Alex, and she's like, you need to put that on a t-shirt. Don't feed the wild animals, and a picture of a mom handing a kid a cell phone or something.
Right?
Don't feed the wild animals, because when you feed the wild animals, they just what? They want to work for it hard next time, maybe next year.
No, they'll take the easy route. Water always takes the least point of resistance. So does electricity. They will stop hunting and gathering, and they'll just come over to you. And pretty soon, you've trained them to not do for yourself. You can only do for or through me. Wow. Is this dramatic pause
Ding,
making
ding,
some
ding.
like
No.
fireworks going off?
Well, I mean, I wish there was a million people here. Someday there will be a million people here. I'm just going to visualize a million people because the message that we're sharing today is life changing. It is so powerful. Like our job as a parent is so easy when you get this. Right? And
Truly, it's very simple.
I have somebody mailing me an acorn because acorn is a seedling for a big beautiful oak tree. But right now I have a pine cone because I live in Alberta and this is our seedling for a pine tree.
Those are time and
It's
death.
all drying out and dying. You know what's interesting about this, guys, is your children are like seedlings in the world, right? Like they're born from a seed and an egg, right? And they manifest, and 9 months later they come out. And they come out with a blueprint. They come out with a blueprint of an adult body. They're gonna become an adult whether you like it or not. Like really, whether you feed them or not. Like they're gonna grow. The blueprint's already there. Okay.
Release the control.
God says, the Bible says, you will know them by the fruit that they produce. And I want to say the fruit that our children are producing is what? Is a temper tantrum a fruit or a leaf? Is rolling the eyes, disrespectful, throwing things, hitting things, spitting in your face? Are these all like leaves that are coming from the seed that we're actually growing? And this is why it's like not our fault because we've been inundated with wussy parenting techniques until now. But it is our responsibility to see this and to do something about it. Nobody's going to come down from heaven and save your kids. You have all the power to do that. You were given free will. Do I inspire my children to earn their privileges, or do I give them an easy life and smother their flame and then wonder why they're not motivated to do anything? Does this make sense? You reading the comments?
Oh my gosh, Jessica says, I can mail you an acorn. I have one in my yard. It's over 100 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm just going to start sending my address to everybody who lives down south because I think Nicole lives in Florida and she went in her backyard yesterday and
I have an acorn
she's
or
like,
an
look
oak
at my
tree.
big, beautiful oak tree. I wish we had oak trees because an oak tree is a beautiful like metaphor for our children.
Yes.
You can plant like a seedling, like a squash seed, right, in your garden. You know, you'll be planting that in the next couple of months. We'll plant a squash seed, and 2 months later, we can eat the squash. But you see, an oak tree, it takes 50 to 100 years to mature and to start to duplicate acorns, right? Our children are like oak trees. They're here for one purpose. They're here to be prepared for the world. And that's our job, is to prepare them for the world. And part of being prepared for the world is to understand the law of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow, little Timmy. And if we start breathing life into our kids, believing in their capabilities rather than their disabilities, and we sit back and we understand and know that we're a woman or we're a man and we have a life and we have our own desires and thoughts and wants and goals. And over here, separate from us, is a little tiny human being with their own thoughts and wants and goals. And so we need to be smarter than this little tiny human being. And we are, because we have 30, 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years of experience, where they might have 2 years of experience or 5 years of experience. And with that being said, if we've done everything, provided everything, given everything to our little cute little princes and princesses of Bel Air, and they've never had to earn anything or make anything happen on their own, then you might have a 5 or a 10-year-old who is mentally the age of 2. This does not mean that they have a disorder. It doesn't mean that their brain is broken. It just means that we've done a little bit too much overcompensating. Not our fault, not anybody's fault. I was the biggest overcompensator in the world. Don't take it personally.
Missed the point.
We're not here to personally judge you or attack you. We're here to reframe parenting. We're here to reinvent parenting in a way that's super empowering. So what are you getting from this? Have we said anything that triggered an aha moment in you. What do you think? Do you think that your kids might care a little bit more if they were put into a position where they were forced to be their best, where they were put into an environment that encouraged them to work towards the things that they want in their lives? What do you think? Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of oak trees and they're super big.
Are we
I
uh,
love that. Hi, Elaine. Good
are
morning.
we open for some truth? Let's throw out a truth
Oh,
bomb.
I love truth.
Big
Yeah.
old truth bomb, kaboom.
Mm-hmm.
You see, let's talk about some universal truth that we can all agree on, like gravity. Okay, name an animal in our animal kingdom that bears offspring, like two minds come together, a genius is born, and leaves the nest. Find me an animal in our animal kingdom that this doesn't happen. So when you can go, okay, I'm with you. I'm not for or against. I'm understanding the game is set up called the truth. Our offspring, aka us, and your offspring are going to leave the nest. Type in truth if you agree. Now, see, the game gets really, really simple. And I'm telling you, the opposition that absolutely hates us speaking the truth doesn't want you to know this, because if you did, they would lose all their power because you wouldn't give your attention to it. That's how you win in the game, is you choose your attention. So now it's either going to be what? Two things. It's they're going to leave. The question would be is, are they going to be prepared for their life skills transfer, or are we, I wouldn't say been conned, but let's just say we've been persuaded to postpone what is called the inevitable. So if you got yourself a 12-year-old, a 15 or 18, and they just don't care to move out, gosh, you're going to hate me, but you love me at the same time. I'd have to say, congratulations. Who made that happen? Because when you can look at the game, am I postponing or am I preparing? You see, when you come to the realization that, oh my gosh, no fault of my own, I've been duped to postpone. Where creating champions for life is 100% or as close as 99.9999989% and to prepare
Mm-hmm.
the offspring. Now, can you make the jump? Only Nader could drive backwards in his truck by using his mirrors, but it took some practice. So you have to make a decision. Do I want to just keep postponing, thinking it'll get better? This is the definition of insanity, doing something again and again and again, expecting a different outcome, like negative plus negative will somehow magically be positive on New Year's leap year. No. But when you shift, is it ever too late? The answer will be never
Nope.
too late. Because when a lady who was 87 years old decided to drive for the very first time in her life,
Mm-hmm.
she could develop the neural pathway called I don't care to drive. I can't drive. I can drive. So is it ever too late?
Nope.
Well, that's a question for yourself. Give up? Yes, it is too late. Think there's still a fighting chance in you to do right, be the first in your family lineage? Absolutely. It gets that crystal clear simple. You're either preparing them or you're postponing them. Let's check the scorecard, shall we?
Yes, we got a couple comments. Thank you, Elaine and Loretta. The truth, the truth. Yes, it is the truth. Carlos says it's taken time, but little by little, my kids are understanding that they have to earn items they want. Opposition is real because they've had it too easy. Um, yes. See, your child came to you a beautiful blank slate of life skills. And throughout our experience in life as a human being, we develop through experience only neural pathways, how the brain works. Now, it has been proven that even if you are a drug addict and you kill half of your brain cells doing drugs as a young adult or whatever, it has been proven that you can grow bridges of new neural pathways around the old dead brain cells and you can rebuild that brain. So, are you telling me that a child that is experiencing, say, oppositional defiant disorder, a child who needs to learn a neural pathway called self control, called self discipline, neural pathways that they have the ability to create what they want through their actions. Now, we're already doing this. We have families that come to us from all over the world. They're already making this transition by taking a step back, what we're talking about today. Why don't they care? Because they have had everything handed to them since they were a baby. They've never had to work for anything. Now, when you come here and you start going, okay, that's called a goal, let me show you how to earn that. If we haven't gone through the first phase called the healing phase yet, we have to heal some old beliefs, heal some inner trauma, heal the relationship between you and your child before you can just go, that's called a goal. Let me show you how to make that happen. Here's why. The child has no neural pathways that says, if it is to be, it's up to me. Their neural pathways say, if it is to be, it's up to my mom. If it is to be, it's up to my dad. If I want a new bike, my mom or dad has to get it for me because they have no neural pathway on how to make a bike show up all by themselves. Does this make sense? So,
Ooh.
whether your child has a behavior disorder right now or not, I'm telling you, they can grow new neural pathways based on success principles. And number one, first, it says, first, fix in your mind the exact desire that you want, like fix in your mind exactly what you want. Before you can even do the first step, you must have a desire for something you don't already have. So, moms and dads, we just set you free today because moving forward from this moment right now, you're going to let your kid be your kid and stop doing everything. Stop doing everything. You're going to walk around going, what do I do with all my time? because I'm not following my kid around. Now, the healing phase is the most difficult phase because the healing phase is us working on us, stopping the habits that create the chaos, and then learning to implement new strategies that promote empowerment. The journey is not going to be easy. It is going to be the fight of your life. I'm not going to lie. But the thing is like doing things backwards and following this whole gentle parenting thing, giving our kids everything and then talking things through, thinking that they're learning life skills is going to be harder for longer because not only will you live in power struggles for the rest of your life with your kid, you'll probably end up raising your grandkids. I said it.
I love this. It's like before you choose to breathe life into your child, we probably need to fix the hole in the bucket. Now, I noticed this 20-year-old that kept filling up their tire every other day. And I'm thinking to myself, that's one way to do it. Do they not know how to fix the tire?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they do know how and just not making the top 12 list for themselves. They don't want to. So if it made sense to patch, fix, or plug the hole in the tire before I breathe life, air, into the tire, that would start to make sense. So many of the parents go, yeah, I tried that. I said nice things. I was doing this. I'm like, well, that's right. You found out how to put air into the tire. But it still didn't change the fact that there's still a cause or a hole that's off your radar that you either don't know how to do it or it's not high enough in your understanding to want to do it. And so when we find out which one of those two is a missing life skill for you, you'll plug that hole instantly through just your being who you are in a new world. And then all of a sudden, common side effects will always be healing, false or true, Bonnie.
Yes.
The uniting of father to son, mother to daughter, the rite of passage of ownership transfer, unites. False or true, Bonnie?
It's the most beautiful. I'm going to cry. It's the most beautiful end picture that most parents can't even imagine because you've never experienced it or lived it. So I get it. We talk, we sound crazy, and sorry,
Thank you
but
for
yeah,
that.
it's
I
powerful.
love that. Crazy. Thank you for the compliment because nobody normal made history.
We are crazy,
Yeah.
crazy happy.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be able to have a lifetime relationship that is so far off your
Oh
radar.
my
It's
God,
like
I'm
heaven
dying.
on earth for life that the last phase is complete empowerment. You see, when they launch out of the nest, that's like finishing your training in the military. You got through the boot camp, you went through your specialized training. Now you're ready to go be who you truly are. You're a little genius here as a winning lotto ticket to go embrace your own uniqueness. There's a gift that every one of us is wanting to share with Monkey See, Monkey Do, how it's so unique. If there's any truth to this thumbprint, because none of them match. And it's so right where it's right here, one decision away. It's sitting right there. And when
Yeah,
you know that the whole game is to transfer ownership,
that's
to
it.
prepare them to leave, it's now they're ready for the game of life. And ask Bonnie, who does all of her little genius offsprings come to when they have a new goal, a new puzzle to solve, a new frontier to expand their horizons on? Who do they call? And I'll give you a hint. It's not Ghostbusters.
No, they call the freaking queen of the house. I went and I got these like crowns because I think they're so awesome. Because I want every single mom in the world and dad. I want every single mom in the world to put their queen crown on and to step into their leadership role
Know
as
your
a
role.
mom. The kids don't turn 18 and leave, moms and dads. I've got now a 20-year-old. Oh God, they're getting old. I think 24, 25, and 26, almost 27. So, they grow up, they leave, but they constantly going to come back to the one that they look up to the one who taught them life skills, to the one who empowered them to go after and achieve their goals,
Dirt.
to the mom who, for the last 13 years, never told them no. But here's what I did do: I shut off the welfare system completely.
Gone.
Gone. No more freebies for you, which meant if we were going out to see a movie, they could come if they had their own money. They could buy their own popcorn if they saved their own money. You see, in the olden days, I would have planned the movie, paid for the movie, bought them all popcorn. Not only bought them all popcorn, I would have had four little individual bags and I would have put all the popcorn in. Here's your pop with your little straw.
Take pictures and brag to the rest of the world. Look how good a parent I am.
How great I am. We're at the movies today.
Look how much I do for them.
And then when I met Tom and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm training kids for the welfare system. I'm making their life way too easy. I'm not even giving them an opportunity to set a goal or to work towards it. No wonder they hate me so much." So you can do it. It's like this. You got to ask yourself this question: do I just want to get through today and have them comply and do what I want them to do? Or do I actually want to create a champion for life? Do I actually want to prepare my kids for the world? Like, I mean,
Yeah, if it's
it,
not
it,
you,
it's
it's going to be somebody
it's
else.
gonna be up to you. Like nobody's gonna do it for you. So this is gonna be your journey, right? There's no support system. There's no IEP that's gonna take care of this. There's no therapist or pediatrician that's going to
Those
fix
are
this for you.
all training wheels.
Those
Those
are
are all
all
crutches. Those are all
pacifiers,
pacifications.
band-aids.
Everything to postpone the sacred truth between a father and a son and a mother and a daughter in the
So
animal kingdom.
so here's the formula for success. It's right here. It's on page 26 in the black version of Think and Grow Rich. That we have taken the formula, we have taken the success formulas, the success philosophy right here, Tom didn't even know, but he had taken the success formulas and had an after school program, an award winning after school program. And when he went to go get licensed as a daycare, they're like, you need child behavioral degrees. So he went and got two of those. And in spite of those, what was the number thing you learned about practical application when you went to school for your child behavior education?
They taught a lot of theory, introduced a lot of theory, and there was no practical application called co-op to actually work with kids before you started to work with kids. And now I was licensed to do what I did anywhere around the world. But because we were wanting to help the low income moms that had their kid in a daycare and they got kicked out, name whatever reason, daycare. When a mom came to me the first time and said, you know, I would love to have my program or my child in your program, but I'm on a DSHS subsidy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'll go get a license of a daycare so you can actually make it. That's when it started to happen. So for about 3 or 4 years of being a licensed daycare, somebody checked the audit and said, well, nobody has a piece of paper that says you have education to do this. Well, thank goodness I didn't know that you needed a piece of paper from somebody that teaches theory in order to actually guide kids.
Because he already had his after school program in the martial arts hall of fame. So anyways, I just thought that was powerful. So here's the secret of success, and this is for any undertaking. You want to start a business, you want to write a book, you want to buy a new car, you want to raise healthy, happy, cooperative kids. It's all the same formula. See, when you're working with principles, they will remain the same. Gravity doesn't change from my house to your house to the neighbor's house. Like gravity doesn't work differently for you than it works for me. Principles work. Principles. These are success principles. Number one, as you have a desire, the first thing that you do is you set a goal. So moving forward, if you were to shut off the welfare system in your home and make a list of every privilege, sitting in your living room on your couch is a privilege. They have a right to their bedroom. Okay, this is just like how far down the rabbit hole do you actually want to go? I'm just making a point. It sounds a little mean when I say it, but really, if we're giving our kids the gift of desire, so now they have a goal that they're willing to work towards by getting themselves up and ready in the morning, by being respectful, by doing the things that you want them to do, they have to have a goal. And then determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the goal. That's your job. A 2-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old doesn't not have the life skills to go and create their own plan. They have a goal. I want whatever. I want a new bike. I want to go swimming this weekend. I want a sweatshirt. It's a goal. That's great. It's called a goal. Now, your job, mom, is to create a proactive, parent-approved plan. What do you want them to do to achieve their goal? They need you to create their plan. Step number 3, it says establish a definite date when you intend to possess your goal. So when do you want to have your bike by? It's probably going to take you 6 months to earn the money to buy a new bike. Do you want it in 6 months or a year or 2 years down? But I want it now. It's good to want things. That's called a goal. Okay. Where's the bike I bought you last year? All right. 4. Okay. So a definite date, create a definite plan. That's step number 4. Step number 5, put it in writing. Mom, I asked for the bike. Look at here, our plan's in writing. What have you been willing to do to work towards this goal, little Timmy? It's all in writing. And then the last step is to read your written statement out aloud twice a day. So what we teach our parents to do is write out their perfect day. These aren't actually these are reading glasses. Anyway, we have parents write out a statement of what does your perfect day actually look like. This is your goal. And then you learn leadership skills through working with us. Every time your child wants something, that's called a goal. You're going to learn that it's just this beautiful, that's called a goal. Like if a friend says, I want new shoes, you don't automatically feel responsible to go out and buy that friend's shoes. You validate. Oh, cool. Those are pretty shoes.
Ooh, where'd you find those at?
This is how we communicate as human beings. Yeah, but I want them. Cool. That's called a goal. Would you like me to give you a parent approved plan on how you can make these shoes show up for yourself? Ding, 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 ding. Now we've come full circle. Now your kid has an inner desire. They have a goal. You give them a plan. They either work the plan or they don't work the plan. If they work the plan, what do they get?
They get a high from the inside out that man cannot duplicate from the outside in. It's one of the most amazing feelings of, look what I just did all by myself. This is the best antidepressant that you could ever imagine. You see, when you accomplish something of, look what I did, we now transferred ownership over to the little genius offspring. That's one less thing you need to do. See, when you can put yourself out of a job called I do all this stuff for you, and you put yourself out of a job, that's the sweet spot.
Well, exactly.
That's the sweet spot. And now a lot of times you can test it every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because in principle 1, question 4, right here in the book, I'll read it for you. This is a test. If I cease to exist when your child reaches the age of 18 and they are all on their own, how successful will he or she be? So let's put this practical for you. Can you leave the house for a month and come back and everything's great? Move, let's bite the bite. How about a week? Over my dead body, I'm hearing someone say, how about a weekend? How about a day? How about for an hour? You see, the more times that you can practice that window where you cease to exist and you watch them actually do it on their own,
Mm-hmm.
that's the testing ground of when are they ready to leave, is when they can do everything on their own.
Yes. God, I wish I could just teach you the whole philosophy in an hour. Like
Well,
honestly,
it
I
takes
wish
time.
I could. When I was 21 and I read Think and Grow Rich and I'm like, I'm going to be a somebody. It took me 10 years of studying and workshops and investing in myself and keeping on showing up and keeping on showing up. It took me 10 years just to believe in myself. I was 31 years old before I started creating any success. And from 31 to 39, I went top 10 in the world in 2 different companies as a leader, going home living a secret nightmare. So I've been where you are, and I just wish that I could take everything in our minds and infuse you like this, but it's going to take time
Yeah.
to learn. It's going to take time to just reframe. It's going to take time for you to go, oh, my kid's a little genius looking to embrace their own uniqueness and needs life skills, not punishment. That is going to take time because you're growing some new neural pathways. So I just want to
So I can't
talk.
just can't plug in a plug in.
Oh, I wish we were in the Matrix and we
Now
just
I know
sit you
kung
in a
fu. I
chair.
can't do
No.
that.
So Holly says, I've done this with my 7 years, with my youngest. You know, dad passed away. You felt sorry for him and you overcompensated. And I get that. And that's a really natural and normal complaint. So, Holly, number one, first thing is I want you to forgive yourself and to forgive your husband. Find forgiveness, whatever you need to do for that situation. Number two, believe in your child. He'll be okay. Um, yes, I want to wrap up.
They are
Yes.
so smarter than you can
Wrap up
ever
soon.
imagine.
That means that I need to get to the comments. So I just want you to be kind to yourself and know that it's going to take time. Believe in your son. Cut off the welfare system and start right now. Every day is a new day, right? To start something new.
Mhm.
So just take one day at a time and do all you can do. All right. Hello, Melissa. Crystal, thanks for hopping on. I hope you're still here. You said my son wants me to let his girl move in with him because her mom does not want them there anymore. Oh, but all his stuff is at my house besides his clothes. Well, we might need to just talk this. You might need a coach if you can, because you know you've been going 19 years, I think, in one direction, and so now he wants to move in. I mean, you can, like, this is actually where we want them. We want them to go, Mom, I want to move in, because now you can go, that's called a goal. Let me write out a contract and what this would look like. And now you get to actually bring your goals to the forefront. And if he has a goal, he's got to match your goals. We parents make decisions, children make choices. Okay. We might need to talk that through. How many goals should they have in a day? Oh man, here's the thing. Just because they have a goal doesn't mean that they manifest it this second. They can ask for 100 things in a day. Cool. That's called a goal. Let me put that on your little goal board, goal list, right? Like you want to just like whatever they ask for, you want to validate. Now, here's when you're going to know whether it's a real goal or whether it's just a squirrel. Because if it's a real goal, they're willing to work for it. If it's not a real goal, they'll just take it because it's there for free because you've just given it to them their whole life. They'll just take it for free, but they're not really willing to work for it. That's how you're going to tell the difference. But it's totally up to them, not you. Does that make sense? Okay. My parents taught my kids that they don't need to earn anything and everything should be handed to them because their disability, which I don't agree with. Well, you're right, Crystal. So I don't agree with it either because we need to believe more in their potential than their disorders. Okay.
Good thing no one believed that.
Thank God for
Helen
you.
Keller was a disorder either.
Well, yeah. I talked about that yesterday in a live. Helen Keller. Okay, that's what my mom and dad did with me till I was 17. Moved out after having my second kid. Right. Okay. So 17, second kid, move out. How close are you with your parents? See, I want my kids to come to me like I want like they're my best friends and they're all adults, so it's kind of fun. But I'm still their guide and I still teach them the truth and I still say things that they sometimes don't want to hear, but only when they ask. I don't offer unsolicited advice. All right. I never knew football game was a goal, and the result is making it through school day. I feel if I did it, anyone else can. Carlos, yes. So Carlos came to us. His only goal was that Charlie go to school for a whole day without being called by the teacher. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna accomplish so much more than that. Now Charlie goes to school every day. Not only that, Carlos, he's so sweet and cute and happy. Like it's amazing talking to him. I just need y'all to move here. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's easier just to join our 90-day parenting challenge. I know it's a little bit of a stretch. I know it's a little bit of an investment, but in 90 days, you'll change. Your child will change. Your whole environment will change. You'll have all of the principles of Learn to Speak Kid of Creating Champions Life, Creating Champions Life principles put into a Learn to Speak Kid book. Okay, you'll know them all, and it's a really awesome mentorship program. Jessica says I agree, Holly. We have oak trees. That's hilarious. All right. My mom passed away 3 years ago. My dad and me don't talk since my mom passed because how he treats me growing up and how he still treats my daughter and son. Yeah. It's time to break generational curses. And that's what we're doing here with Creating Champions for Life. Like I said, you might not get everything that we said today. Hopefully, we hit some sort of emotional chord so that number one, you can know that your child has potential to learn any life skill. You have potential to learn new neural pathways when it comes to being a proactive versus a reactive parent. And you have all the power. You have all the power. Doctors, therapists, pediatricians, we don't have the power because Holly, we can't, we would love to go to every single house of every single family that's dealing with chaos and make the transition, but like it's got to come from you. This is your journey. This is about growth. You've been hand chosen as a seedling, I believe, by the higher authority to make the change that the whole world is praying for. How can we stop the mental disease of our kids and raise healthy, happy, cooperative kids? It begins with you. It starts right here. We've got you. All right. With all that being said, yes, we have a 90-day parenting challenge for change for those that are ready for mentorship, but we also have a gold star membership for like $9.95 or maybe $9.97. It's less than $10 a month US to join our membership with all of the recorded trainings. We've got like the best of our live game that we played with our clients, coaching calls, and we've got live mentorship once a week when you join our gold membership. Holly and Jessica joined last week. Welcome to our family. And with all that being said, we're wrapping up for today. We'll see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for being here, for joining, for being a part of the community, for being an open-minded, forward-thinking parent.
That's right.
Until we meet again,
here's
to our parenting success. Bye, everybody.
Bye for now.